A black woman wearing glasses sits, facing a camera as she speaks. This view is interspersed with the same black woman with braids, wearing a denim shirt, facing the camera and reading the same text.
To my unborn child and the unborn nation that you bring with you. Although you will be the third generation, you will be the first to know that this country, this Great Britain, will gaslight you. They will try to convince you of a different reality than the one that you are living. A reality that upholds an idea told to your forefathers long before. A narrative that everyone around you is also convinced by. And this will make it a little bit harder to recognize, but recognize it.
The same woman dances in a kitchen, while an inset view shows a pair of sneaker-clad hands, also dancing.
You will be happy at first to be born in a country where the language that dominates, the language that the world craves, flows so freely with different versions and accents that hit your ears with sharpness and sweetness.
Different views of feet dancing and various views of the woman dancing appear. Then the woman sits on a couch, smiling and using her mobile phone.
You will smile, because it feels like you're home, and for a while it will be. You will be happy because at first you will think that this, being here, is the better option. You will believe that here is better. They will convince you that the education, the opportunities, the housing and the healthcare is better. And you will say things like, well, at least we have a national healthcare system.
Inset views look out a window as it's opened, and two women dance together.
Whilst also being 4 times more likely to die at the hands of that very system. And no matter how much national insurance you pay, I am sorry, my dear, to tell you that your doctors and nurses will neglect your needs and minimize your pain.
The woman sits fully clothed in a bathtub, soaked with water and rolling her head forward and back. An inset view shows her practicing boxing.
But then you will learn. And you will learn this faster if your skin is darker. You will learn that you are far from equal and that your very existence is seen as a threat. You will learn that all is not well here in England and that there are some not so great things about Britain. And so this is my love letter to you, and I'm so sorry that it is filled with warnings, but I want to protect you. I have to protect you.
Someone pulls on a pair of yellow latex gloves before setting to work on a pile of dirty dishes that fill a sink.
I'm trying to warn you, so I have to tell you that even though you'll be happy at first, you'll soon have to fight. You will perfect your survival skills, and I know that's not fair, but there are so many unfair things that are dressed up as a good thing.
A view looks out over rooftops.
After they took the sugar and the cane from your land, leaving with your currency and labour, and most of all with your grandparents, they will tell you to return to a place that you've never known. After convincing you that this way is better, after telling you that your English is not good enough and that your curls are unkept, they will tell you to go back to where you came from. After taking everything from you, they will ask you, why are you here?
The woman works oil into her hair, while another inset shows an elderly black woman with her hair wrapped up in a scarf. She looks to the right and left as we hear her speak.
No, they'll tell you, go back to where you came from.
You see vacancy on the window, and when you go, no black allowed.
Someone pots a small cactus.
And learning all of this will hurt at first. All this information and the realization will be hard, and your fight will be relentless. You'll feel a lot of things all at once, but don't give up. Don't be discouraged. You will heal. And even when you realize that all of those microaggressions are actually not very micro at all, you will recover. Not because you want to, but because you have to.
The younger woman wears a sleep mask in bed, her hair bound up in a black scarf.
And I'll tell you more about the expectations placed upon black women when you get here. Just get here, okay? And when you do get here, you'll be tempted to compromise your blackness. And you'll be inundated with 1,000 possibilities and spaces that require you to adapt.
Inset views simultaneously show the woman lying in bed without the sleep mask, and also waking up in morning light, rubbing her eyes.
Walking on eggshells, trying not to aggravate this world, trying not to provoke whiteness. It's hard. The hardest part of it is that no matter how small you make yourself and how much you bend over backwards to avoid rocking the boat, Britain will be mad at you.
Text: I've been told in the last 12 hours that I should be deported to India. my parents made a mistake having me, and that Britain was wasting its money on a migrant. That it's my fault I'm poor, and I should be grateful to be in the UK. 10:15, the 13th of August 2020.
You will annoy and frustrate them.
An inset view shows two police officers from behind. Text: investigation launched after black man dies in police custody in Devon.
Each day this country will throw punches and then tell you that it's your fault, that you aggravated them. You didn't ask for it.
Photo of a black woman wearing red lipstick and gold earrings. News clipping text: Glasgow. Woman in extreme poverty found dead next to crying baby in Glasgow.
Manage the problems that come from single parenting.
Photo of several individuals bent down, working on something out of view on the floor. Behind them a person stands with their right arm raised. Text: photo shows police officer giving Nazi salute before man died in custody.
Particularly amongst young African Caribbean women, again, police only react.
The speaker's white, middle-aged face appears and disappears behind the two inset news clippings.
To what goes on in front of their faces.
A black individual sits in front of a large window wearing a black hoodie, their face obscured by shadows and their phone held out in front of them.
And I pray that you will never date someone who convinces you that you need them in order to be great. You're already great, I can feel it. And your mummy knows what love is now, but only because she has felt pain.
An inset view shows a pair of black hands picking at their cuticles.
And please trust me when I tell you that I recognize a toxic relationship when I see one. So please, baby, pay very close attention to the signs.
A string of St. George's cross flags wave in the wind.
There will be so many red flags, and your colleagues and peers will tell you that these red flags are just pink ones. And even when you see that St. George's flag flying proudly outside of your neighbor's window, you will realize that even the nation's flag is a red flag.
The elderly woman sits on a red leather sofa.
I will go to the sink and you wash your hands, and then come and look on your hand and go and your hand.
You voted and we heard you.
Mean say, you wash your hand dirty, because it don't look like theirs. You wouldn't expect my hand or any part of me to look like yours, because you are white, I'm black, and I'm proud of it. And I said, let me and you go in the sunshine and give us 5 minutes and see who's going to change.
A black woman wears a hoodie and sits next to a potted plant. She thumbs her phone, her face obscured.
If you're anything like your mummy, you will seek validation during the hardest times.
An inset view shows the face of the phone. The younger woman is making a video call. Another black woman with red hair, makeup and gold earrings answers.
And you will reach out to others that look like you, other little children with the same curl pattern. And you'll probably ask them questions. You'll want to know their story. And you'll probably discover a lot of similarities. And the sad part is that sometimes, only sometimes, you will hear other black and brown people say things like,
in an inset view, the woman appears, wearing glasses, speaking the narration.
well, if you just cooperate and listen and speak gently and don't resist and be a good little black girl, then you'll be fine. You'll learn very early on that good behavior will not make you immune to abuse. But do not be mad at their advice. They have been tricked into believing that Britain is great and fair. And remember, babe,
the woman appears in an inset view.
Not everyone's mommy wrote them a letter like this. So don't judge them, okay? They're family.
Someone rummages through a pink plastic bag filled with beauty products.
I know you're going to begin to search for answers. And I don't even know if I will be by your side to help you. And maybe that is better, to search autonomously. This is why I wrote this for you. I made this for you because I have a feeling that you won't wait until you're in your 20s to search for answers like I did. You will look much sooner, and I hope that this helps. Please don't resent me if I buy you Toni Morrison's The Origin of Others for your 11th birthday. I just know that you'll need to understand otherness in time for high school. I hope that you'll discover Theodore W. Allen in your teenage years, and that you will learn of the perils that come with the Tory government on your 18th birthday.
In an inset view, the woman sits and smiles broadly, looking at the camera.
Just in time for your first vote. I want you to live abundantly and have a childhood, but black babies don't get to stay babies for long. We have to quickly adapt to the expectation of an innate ability to cope with oppression.
Plantains fry in a pan.
Like we are better equipped than others to suffer. When you finish all of your research, your exhausted mind will finish searching for answers and begin to search for home. And I really wish I could tell you that this is the easy part.
Another inset appears, showing the plantain being peeled, sliced and fried.
You'll seek comforts and you'll look for flavors and clothes and music that remind you of a place that you've never known. It's such a strange thing that, seeking the comforts of an island you've never been to, all because this island doesn't feel warm to you. It doesn't feel like home. And maybe that's because Great Britain is obsessed with who does and doesn't belong here. I've always found that so ironic. Museums filled with stolen items and a royal family whose wealth is a result of mass looting.
A hand pushes open a window, as an inset view shows the pink bag full of cosmetics.
But it's I that doesn't belong here. It's me who should be grateful for shelter and seek refuge. I don't really remember how or when a nation managed to convince black and brown people that they should thank their captors, appreciate the crumbs, and pray that God saves their queen. It happened so suddenly, didn't it? I know you're going to ask me, and you have every right to ask me this question. As your mother, I owe you an answer, but I'm still trying to figure out this answer myself. I thought that I would know what to tell you by the time you arrived, but you'll be here soon, and you'll arrive with 2 questions. The first of which I hope you do not ask, dare you sound like your colonizers.
A montage of inset views show the woman lying in bed asleep, lying awake, throwing her legs over the edge of the bed as she sits up, and lying back in bed with the light on, using her phone.
Don't ask me why I'm still here. Please, darling, don't ask me that. And after you feel the heat radiate off of my skin with frustration and despair, you'll probably ask me the second question. Well, where do we go from here? Something along those lines. You'll say, where else can we live in peace?
An inset view shows the woman descending a set of stairs towards a sunlit lower floor.
And I'm dreading this question most of all, because I'm afraid that I'll have to say, nowhere, baby.
Credits: a film by Crooks. Featuring Dorneth Crooks, Crooks, Vindra Mitchell, Nanny, Chanel Peters. Featured music, 360440 inspiring dramatic beat 04 produced by Crooks. Commissioned for Beyond by Film and Video Umbrella. Supervising producer, Leah McGurk, FVU. Special thanks to Chels Gordon, Leah McGurk, FVU, Susanna Chisholm, FVU, Stephen Bode, FVU, Great Ish, The Gaslighting of a Nation. A film by Crooks commissioned by Film and Video Umbrella, FVU Arts Council England.